Hi YouTube, how you going? Welcome to another video in the How to Prepare for the World's Toughest Mudder 2013 video series. Today's video I'm not going to cover a specific piece of equipment. I'm just going to talk about the 5 things that are most likely to take you out of the event. Hopefully this helps you kind of get on track and know how to prepare a little bit better. Number 1 is training. I'm covering this as number 1 because it's something that you need to focus on today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, but today. There's a relatively short period of time until World's Toughest Mudder, and it wasn't a mistake I made, but I only qualified for the event in October, so I had a very short window to kind of change my training to be more endurance focused. I'd only gotten into running at the start of the year, so it was a big shock to kind of find out that there was some level of, ability there, and I was able to go, quite well in the Sydney events, blah, blah, blah. That's a story for another day, or past videos. What I mean by training is that if you know you're going already, your training needs to be specific for the event. Last year I did it, just kind of like a bit blind, I guess would be the word. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to run this insanely long distance. What do I do in training? Oh my God, don't really know. I've only got 6-8 weeks until the event, and I just tried to squeeze in as much endurance-based stuff as I possibly could. And obviously knew that you can't increase your endurance that much in a short period of time, but I was just trying to do the best. It worked to an extent because I did manage to complete 5 laps and come 76 out of the 1,100 odd people, even though I copped a knee injury after the 3rd lap. But since returning from World's Toughest Mudder, I've had a running coach who's definitely helped me out. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on training because I'm not. All I would say is that if you can afford it, or if you know someone who's a very good runner and has done endurance events, hit them up and ask for their feedback. In summary, my training program focuses on doing sprint work on Tuesdays. On Thursdays, I do like a fartlek type run where it might be 20-25 kilometers with, it built up to, I think it was 2 40-minute hard efforts. So you've got that mix of just running at a comfortable pace and then hard. But to start with, it was like, a 15-kilometer run with 5 to 10 efforts of 5 minutes each hard, that kind of thing. Really mixing it up, that short, the higher speed stuff, and then the more consistent, just steady state stuff in that one run. On Saturdays, I do a long run, which I consistently build up over time. And then on Sundays, again, another run, typically has been around 20 odd kilometers. So that's just kind of roughly what I've done in the past and since coming back from World's Toughest Mudder 2012. And I can't obviously tell you how to train. I do resistance training stuff as well, but I just wanted to make that number 1 because if you aren't training now, you're going to sell yourself short, and I hope that you want to do as best as you can. So get into the training, find someone who knows what they're doing, ask for advice, get a coach. It'll definitely help you out. Number 2, this is something else that you can, work on yourself, and that's your mental strength. You have to be willing to suffer. It's going to suck because it's going to be cold. It's going to suck because you know that going through the electric eel and, electroshock therapy is like shit. It's going to suck because it's going for 24 hours. But you need to throw all that shit way out the window and just focus on getting through the event. As I said, I did go into the event with an injury. It flared up after 3 laps, but I just looked at it and just said, look, 1 step forward at a time. So it's something that I work on a lot, especially with my ultra running. And, if you've seen my previous video, a difficult injury or issue that I faced in my last race that was really annoying for me. So it is something that you're always going to be working on. And I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything like that, but if you have the opportunity before World's Toughest Mudder to do another long event like an ultra, I would definitely do it. It links into training and it'll help build your mental toughness. Alternatively, You can do runs at night when it's cold. You can jump into a pool and then go for a run and jump into your pool every lap after that. You can swim in the lake and then do a run. Do anything that's going to make you want to stop and keep going. If you've got a training partner, I think that's going to provide a really big benefit in terms of developing mental toughness, just because they're going to push you like crazy. And you're not going to want to quit when your mate's still going, and he's not going to quit when you're still going, even though you probably both want to quit at the same time. It just won't, because the other person isn't saying they want to. As I said, I'm not saying an expert on it, and it's something that I still work on and will continue to work on, but you've got time, so work on it now. It'll definitely help. Third thing is, I'll cover this as a third thing. It links into mental toughness. But for some people, it's going to happen regardless, and that is the cold. So obviously, if you've developed the mental toughness, you know it's going to suck, and you just push through it. 99% of the time, you're going to be okay, as long as you're prepared. Then there's going to be the guys who aren't prepared, who don't have a thick enough wetsuit, who don't, who decide to run, in shorts or something, stupid. There are a couple of guys who did it last year. There's one or two who maybe can do it, because they can endure the cold or they just suffer. But, out of the however many guys there were who started in shorts and stuff, not all of them are going to finish. So be smart about it. Wear a wetsuit. There was guys even on the first lap and second lap who were taken off the course by medical staff because they had hypothermia. That's not the way you want to finish an event. You either want to finish by crossing that 24-hour mark and crossing that line yourself, or you want to go out with something that you knew you couldn't avoid. Touch wood, it doesn't happen, but if you fall and break your leg, it's not your fault. If you try and swim across the freezing cold water in a pair of shorts and get hypothermia, that's something you could have avoided. So don't be a hero. Be smart about it. Look at the 99% of other people who are there. They're all wearing wetsuits. So wear one yourself, and when you're in the water, when you're getting cold, that's when you tap into your mental strength, push through it, keep going, focus on the positives, focus on getting back to the tent and changing into another wetsuit, focus on just getting out of the water, focus on moving, and then you'll forget about the cold and you'll be right as rain. Fourth thing, very important, I've covered it in my other videos, it's nutrition and hydration. I'm linking those as one. The big mistake I saw a lot of people make last year was that they would only eat every time they finished a lap. Even if you're relatively good, it's going to be anywhere, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, or as you slow down, longer and longer than that. And it's just too long to leave between meals. You're going to run out of energy. You're going to be forced to slow down, even if you want to go faster, because mentally you're there. Physically, your legs might feel fine, but you just don't have enough energy. So take a fuel belt, have some energy gels in there, rely on your own food as well, because the ones, Tough Mudder last year, they had green bananas. Like, who has green bananas? They were literally green. A banana does not have its natural sugars until it's spotty, and you want sugars when you're doing an endurance event, so that you can get that energy. So, definitely focus on nutrition, test it out in training, make sure you're eating sufficient calories throughout the duration of the event, as well as having, your water, electrolytes, that kind of thing. You don't want to be there mentally and, physically with your legs being fine and everything, and just find that you have no energy and can't run for shit. So that's number 4. The fifth thing is something that you can't really avoid, but it is one of the things that can take you out of the event, and that is injury. As I said, I went into the event with an injury. I managed to do 2 laps perfectly fine before it flared, but I just kept pushing through. That's an injury that you can, kind of put out of your mind for a bit and just keep going. Your knee, bung knee, sprain your ankle, you can hobble, you can do your best. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event for a lot of people, especially if you're coming from overseas. So don't let an injury that you can push on with put you out of the game. Sure, it's not going to be the best if you keep running on a dodgy knee. It's hurting more and more each, passing minute. But it doesn't matter, because it's going to be like that 24-hour event, and then you can recover afterwards. If it's like a chronic injury where you've broken a knee, busted an ankle, again, don't be stupid. That's just something that you can't push on with, and you're going to have to pull out. It is one of the 5 things that's going to take you out of the event. If it does, I touch wood and hope it doesn't happen to anyone at all this year. And the only thing that you can really do about it is be smart. You know, if you're going across the water and then there's the cargo net again at the end and someone's climbing above you and they look shaky and they might fall, don't stand underneath them because they're going to fall on top of you. Move to the side, climb up. If you don't have the hand strength to hold onto the ropes because your fingers are so freezing cold, hook your arms around. That's what people did all last year, and they didn't fall. The guys who tried to climb with their fingers still, they just froze up, and you know, a couple of people did fall off it. That's just how it is. You know, same thing, just take your time when you're approaching obstacles. Make sure you know how you're going to execute it, especially late at night. Be careful going through like the swampy areas where there's those puddles and mud pits and things that you can't see. There's a lot of broken branches under them, so don't jump into them, step into them. Don't try and clear a gap by jumping over it if you can't do it. Again, I saw 2 or 3 guys at least last year trying to jump over these. Everyone else was like sinking into the mud, swimming across, climbing out. These guys are trying to jump the thing. They get 1 foot on it and then they collapse back in. You know, it could have been a branch under the water or something. You know, pierces your skin, pierces your wetsuit, break your arm, break your leg, break your ankle, whatever. You know, you don't want to go out that way. So be smart about it. And hopefully you have a great event. There's more videos coming in this series. This certainly isn't the last, but just wanted to cover that. And yeah, let you know my thoughts on the 5 things that can take you out. So in summary, it's your training, your mental strength, nutrition and hydration, the cold and being prepared for that, as well as injury and not being a hero. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Comment below. And good luck with your training and everything. Talk soon.